morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a look at all of the Pokemon Sword and Shield TCG products. When I say all the Pokemon Sword and Shield TCG products, I mean all of the products that are being released with the Sword and Shield set. There will be some promo boxes off to the side. We are talking about the Sword and Shield set and everything that is being released along with them. Now, these were revealed in a press release, but I do want to give a lovely shout out to the wonderful Primal Lugia over at PokeGuardian.com for collating the images and sending them to me and just frankly being a lovely, helpful, awesome dude. Please know that I am incredibly grateful. So with all of that borne in mind then, let's have a gander at all of the products. And let's start off with the theme decks. Now, we knew that the theme decks were going to be the evolutions of Sobble, Grookey, and Scorbunny, but now we know what the evolutions are, and we know what the Pokemon featured in the theme decks are going to be. As always, no, we do not have the deck list for the theme decks yet, but you know the second they are revealed, I will be making videos showing them all to you. So, Inteleon is getting a lovely theme deck, and it is very important to note that it is the V deck Inteleon without the ability, rather than the Inteleon which was revealed the other day from the set, which does have the ability. As a side note, this is the worst one. Now, I still think it's quite cool. 1 colourless energy, 40 damage, discard a random card from your opponent's hand. And 1 water, 1 colourless energy, 100 damage, and you can return an energy attached to the defending Pokemon to your opponent's hand. With a pretty big HP of 160 as well, it's a pretty nice Pokemon, but it's not as nice as the other one with the ability. I have done a video about all 3 of these Pokemon, I'll pop a link in the description. The Rillaboom is the one we actually had a look at in a video yesterday, and once again, it is the V-Deck Rillaboom. It is not the one from the set. Now, obviously, they're both in the set, but the one that we've been shown in English is better. It's just as simple as that. It's just a better card. But this one's still got 190 HP, which is the most we've ever seen on a non-Wailord single prize Pokemon. And it can do 180 for 4 energy, which is pretty gigantic. I don't think it's going to be a deck in and of itself, but with the Rillaboom with the ability that lets you accelerate grass energy, it's really quite nice. Now, the one that is extremely strange to me is that the Cinderace which is coming in the theme deck is not the Cinderace with the ability that we were shown in English. Well, neither were the other 2. But it is also not the Cinderace that came around in the V-decks. It is actually a Cinderace which is a promo, a gym promo, over in Japan, which is extremely weird. As a side note, I am pretty sure it's the worst of the 3 Cinderace. I'll bring you a proper video on this one tomorrow when I've checked the translation with a lovely David Hockman. But it's very weird to me that we've got the set Cinderace and we've got the V-Deck Cinderace, and yet it's the promo that's coming along in the theme deck, whereas the other 2 get their V-Deck ones. It's very, 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 very strange. But you can see from the artwork it is definitely the promo, which is different from the V-Deck one. Now, we do also have our free pack blister promos, and this is where you get 3 packs of cards and a coin and a promo. And they are going to feature Galarian Ponyta and Morpeko. Now, the Galarian Ponyta is actually the second one that we've seen. There was one revealed from the set the other day. Unfortunately, you know I'm a man that likes to sit and analyse cards and really dig into the minutiae of them. Even I couldn't really justify making a video on the other Galarian Ponyta. They've both got 70 HP, retreat cost of 1, weakness to darkness, resistance to fighting, etc. The one from the set for 1 psychic energy does 10 damage and paralysis on a coin flip. This promo one for 1 colourless energy heals 30 from one of your Pokemon. And for a psychic and a colourless does 20 damage. In terms of artwork, I prefer the promo, but in terms of playability, the one from the set is, I think it's fair to say, objectively better. Now, the good news is we are also getting a Morpeko, And there is another Morpeko I'm going to show you soon, which could be really good. This Morpeko I'm not a huge fan of. You see, it's for a lightning double colourless. Now, 60 damage and paralysis on a coin flip I love. 60 damage is quite high, paralysis is good, stops your opponent attacking or retreating for a turn, unless they can switch out the active. But the fact of the matter is, it's for a lightning and a double colourless. I mean, you know, and this isn't even a Pokemon that can go and use triple acceleration energy, for instance. This is just, it's way too expensive. I like the attack, and I like the effect of the attack, but you can't look at this and go, oh, that looks really good, because it's, well, I mean, I've said it a couple times, but, you know, let me say it one more time. It's way too expensive, which is sad, because I really like Morpeko. In terms of design, it's one of the coolest Pokemon we've seen in a while, flicking between its normal mode and its hangry mode, bringing the word hangry officially into the lexicon of the Pokemon world. Universe even. Love it. Absolutely love it. This attack, too expensive. But the good news is we are getting ourselves a Wooloo. And it is the Wooloo that I showed you the other day. The very first Wooloo that ever got revealed. It's alright as far as it goes. One colourless energy, flip a coin. If heads, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. I mean, that's kind of cool, right? And then 2 colourless energy, 20 damage. I'll link me Wooloo video in the description as well. It's alright. I mean, really, we need to see what the evolution does before we can go too deep into our excitement cycle. But I still like this very much. I still think it's a cool little card, so, you know, lots to be excited about. And then there is a Gossifleur, and unless I'm mistaken, and if I am, please do correct me in the comments section, but as far as I am aware, this Gossifleur hasn't actually been shown off yet. I don't remember seeing this card anywhere so far. I don't think it's been a promo over in Japan. It will be a promo over in Japan, but I don't believe this has actually been shown off yet. And even though most of the text is covered by the coin, we can see that it clearly says your opponent's Pokemon is now asleep. Doesn't do any damage, just puts your opponent's active Pokemon to sleep, so, you know, that's quite good. It's also got 50 HP though, which is quite bad. Again, we really need to see the evolution before we can start making long decisions as to how good this really is. But it's still, you know, it's nice that we're getting it. I'm going to be honest with you, none of these 4 promos are really going to set the world on fire. None of them are particularly great. But then again, maybe there's a really good Galarian Rapidash, so that Galarian Ponyta all of a sudden becomes really good. Now, we knew we were getting 2 Elite Trainer boxes, one featuring Zacian and one featuring Zamazenta, and that is the case here. It's exactly what we might expect. You get your dice and you get your flipping dice, and you get your acrylic markers and your sleeves and your dividers and your basic energy, your player's guide, your packs. It's all very similar, except there is a very big change having been made, and that is that the dice actually have numbers on. So rather than having just dots of 1 to 6, they've got numbers on, and like we tend to see on those dice, some go from 0 to 6, or 10 to 60, some go from 70 to 120, and then there's one dice there that actually goes from 130 to 180. There's 3 for the lower, 2 for the middle, and 1 for the upper. So that's a big change. It's also going to make things far, far easier, especially speaking as someone who likes to commentate and cast Pokemon games. Being able to see these, you know, with the numbers on is going to make life a lot easier. Now, there are some third-party dice, the hook of which really is that they've got nice, clear numbers displayed on them. Is this a deliberate response from Pokemon, knowing that that's the kind of thing that players like? No idea. Although that is a sensible suggestion. Or is it a bit more cynical? Are they deliberately doing this to beat down the competition? I doubt it. I mean, really? They're Pokemon? They're a multi-billion-dollar company. I think it's unlikely they're going to do this to spite a third party. I think by far the most likely situation here is that the people who design these products have been looking around going, you know what? Quite a lot of people seem to like using dice to have the numbers printed on. Maybe we should do that too. And then we have a look at all 4 of the booster packs. There's very little that we can do here in terms of analysis, if I'm honest with you. But the booster packs feature Zacian and Zamazenta, as you might expect. And then Gigantamax Lapras and Gigantamax Snorlax, which, given that they are the first 2 VMAX Pokemon that were revealed from the set, it's probably a good bet that that's why we're getting those 2 Pokemon. Yeah, that's what they look like. Oh, and here's what the build and battle kits look like. This is the one you're going to be getting at your pre-release. Again, there's no real analysis to be done on these. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all of the products. When Sword and Shield launches in February, these are the products that you are going to be able to buy. Yeah, we know there's going to be other side products released in and around the launch of this, but this is what's going to be coming out with the set in February. And I'd like to know what you think about it. Which of these products looks good? Which of these are you going to be running out to buy? Which of these are you probably going to skip? Go nuts in the comment section, but please do remember the rule. Be nice, would you? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where you can, well, talk about a whole bunch of games with me, none of which have Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.